Good afternoon, dear friends. In our daily updates, we analyze the situation on the front lines, review maps, assess progress, and draw conclusions about the potential impact on the overall situation at the front. Friends, please subscribe to our channel to stay informed about the latest developments on the front lines. Today, we will discuss the situation near the settlement of Velika Novoselivka, where, right before our eyes, a new encirclement is forming. Currently, the settlement is nearly encircled, so we will thoroughly and carefully analyze the situation, as it is highly dynamic, with breakthroughs occurring at various points by 4 to 5 kilometers. Let's delve into this now without delay. Opening the map. This area lies south of the city of Kurakhove, near the urban-type settlement of Velika Novoselivka. As I mentioned, events are unfolding rapidly here. 2 days ago, we discussed how Russian forces began offensive operations toward the settlement of Razdolne, located here. At that time, if you re-watch the update, the territory was not yet marked in red, indicating full Russian control. Now, as you can see, it is marked because, again, the situation is highly dynamic and could bring new developments as early as tomorrow. Here's what happened. Russian forces launched their offensive from this section, covering nearly 3.5 kilometers in one move, reaching the outskirts of the village. The settlement itself is small, and the map hasn't been updated yet, but Russian troops have already entered it, taking control of Sadovaya Street, located here. According to my information, active assaults on the remaining parts of the settlement began this morning. As mentioned, it's a small area with no high-rise buildings or fortified zones, and it consists of just 10 streets, one of which is already under the control of Russian assault groups. Potential developments. If the assault succeeds, further advances could occur in 2 directions, one primary and one secondary. Starting with the secondary route, it involves advancing north to the settlement of Bohatyr. Importance of Bohatyr. The primary goal here is to secure control over the Zaporizhzhia-Kurakhove highway, seen here. Physically cutting off this route would completely sever supplies to the Ukrainian garrison in Kurakhove. While the route is already under heavy fire control, there is a significant difference between fire control and physical control. This is why Russian forces are targeting this objective from multiple directions, including this one. Main direction, New Komar. The main route, however, leads toward the village of Novyi Komar. Here, several objectives would be achieved simultaneously. 1. Cutting the Bohatyr-Velika Novoselivka road. This road is crucial for supplying the Ukrainian garrison in Velika Novoselivka. Currently, with Russian forces already in Razdolne, the eastern outskirts are just over 2 kilometers from this road. If Razdolne is fully secured, only 1 kilometer would remain. Second, encircling Velika Novoselivka. Taking Novyi Komar would essentially place Velika Novoselivka in a semi-encirclement. Why? Because Russian forces are advancing on Velika Novoselivka from other directions, as we'll discuss in detail shortly. Additionally, Novyi Komar has a direct road to Velika Novoselivka, and it's only 2 kilometers straight to the urban settlement. Progress from Rapil. Let's move to Rapil, where Russian forces have ousted Ukrainian troops, secured positions, and are now advancing further. Zooming out for a broader perspective, the strategic intent becomes clear. With the push to Razdolne, the objective appears to be encircling the entire Novoselivka grouping of Ukrainian forces. This encirclement is forming right now. Specifically, from Rapil, forces are advancing toward Novosilka. Capturing Novosilka would automatically sever the Huliaipol-Velika Novoselivka road. Russian troops are currently less than 4 kilometers from this road. From Novosilka, the next moves would target Volnopol and Shevchenko, advancing to link up with units approaching Novyi Komar to close the encirclement. Multiple fronts. The push toward the urban settlement is not limited to these sectors. In fact, advances are being made from 4 directions simultaneously. 2 routes discussed, from Rapil to Novosilka and from Razdolne to Novyi Komar. 2 additional routes, from Novodonetsk to Velika Novoselivka and from Shakhtarsk to Velika Novoselivka. With this multi-pronged offensive, the formation of an encirclement around the Novoselivka grouping of Ukrainian forces appears to be rapidly nearing completion. So here's the situation. Over the past 2 days, From Novodonetsk to Velika Novosilka, Russian forces have advanced 4 kilometers. From Shakhtarska, along the highway, they made a breakthrough of 5 kilometers in just one day. Now take a look at where Russian positions are currently located. Right here. This places them just 2 kilometers from Velika Novosilka, effectively almost at its outskirts. It's possible that in the coming days, Russian troops may begin storming this urban-type settlement, though they might wait until the roads are cut off. As long as logistics remain operational, assaulting a well-fortified settlement of significant size is a challenging task. Summary of the week's developments. The situation has changed significantly just over the past week. Even from the map, you can see how the encirclement is forming. At the time of recording this update, the area is in a state of semi-encirclement. However, as mentioned, events in this sector are developing rapidly, and new significant changes may emerge as early as tomorrow. For now, that's all I have regarding the situation around Velika Novosilka. Let's move on to the Kurakhove direction. Kurakhove direction. There are reports of fire missions targeting Uspanivka, as well as footage showing FPV drones in action. In the forest belts in this area, NATO standard equipment is being destroyed. While the video quality is not great, this type of work is ongoing. As for Kurakhove itself, pro-Ukrainian sources report that Russian troops are active both in urban areas and in parts of the forest belts. There's also interesting information that Beresi is now fully under the control of the Russian Federation. Pressure is being applied, as we anticipated, on Stare Turney. This entire zone is currently a grey area under Russian control. What does this mean? It means that Ukrainian forces have either been withdrawn or the remaining strongholds in forest belts are currently being cleared. This territory will soon be marked in red. Another key settlement in this area is likely to have been cleared of Ukrainian forces, and it too will soon be marked in red. From here, Russian units will advance on Stare Turney from 2 directions, moving to encircle the Kurakhove grouping of Ukrainian troops. Toretsk. There are reports of further advances by Russian forces in the central part of Toretsk. In the near future, it will become clear whether Toretsk will hold or if the rotation of Ukrainian units sent to Chasiv Yar has reached a critical point. Chasiv Yar. Pro-Ukrainian sources report that Russian units have managed to gain a foothold in parts of the refractory plant, and assault operations are ongoing there. The Ukrainian armed forces are making maximum efforts to hold this part of the city due to its strategic importance. If this section falls, the rest of the city will likely follow. Kharkiv and Kupiansk directions. Interesting information is coming from pro-Ukrainian sources in this area. Yesterday, footage from Liptsi showed strikes with FAB munitions. The spokesperson for Ukraine's Kharkiv military grouping, Romanov, stated during a broadcast on the Republican telethon that the Russian army is probing Ukrainian defenses and attempting to destroy fortifications. According to the Ukrainian General Staff's evening report, the Russian army carried out 6 assaults on Ukrainian positions near Vovchansk. Fighting is ongoing, and there is also shelling reported around Liptsi. Regarding Kharkiv, reports indicate that Russian units are advancing, while in Kupiansk, battles are ongoing for settlements including Petropavlivka, Kruhlyakivka, and Kolesnikivka. The front here is in motion, with heavy fighting underway. High-level visits. Defense Minister Belousov visited the Kursk region to receive a briefing from the commander of the northern grouping of forces. This is his second visit to frontline areas. The first visit, not previously disclosed, occurred a week ago in the Kherson direction. The current defense minister appears to be regularly engaging with frontline troops, despite the danger posed by potential Storm Shadow missile strikes. His presence suggests he is personally assessing the situation and determining what is needed to push Ukrainian forces out of the Kursk region. Sumy region. Footage of an Iskander missile strike in the Sumy region was also shown. That's all for today. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. See you tomorrow.